Hey guys, welcome back to an all new episode of a pro wrestling podcast with Matt and friends. I am your host, Matthew Kozakowski, and alongside me today is one of the most talked about professional wrestlers in recent history, Mr. Gino Medina. Gino, how you doing, brother?
Great, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm really excited about this. I've kind of followed your career after I seen you in reality of wrestling. You were a big breakout star in that promotion. You became one of the most talked about names in professional wrestling today. So I'm really excited that we get a chance to sit down and have a chat with you and kind of see where your career's been and what you plan on doing. And sky's the limit for you, man. So here we go. What got you into pro wrestling? When did you really start being a fan of it? How did you get into it?
That one's always super easy because started because of my dad. My dad was a wrestler back in Mexico. So ever since I was a little kid, I was in wrestling, So I never really got into it. I was just born into it.
Okay. That's awesome. So you got to travel a lot with your dad and stuff?
A little bit. I was mostly a kid when I was young, when he was around. And I was around around 7-ish. I barely got to go out with him a little bit more, but not as much as he would think. He was on the road a lot.
Yeah. No, I get that, man. I mean, wrestling, traveling is a lot for sure, especially going promotion to promotion. Did you have a lot of idols growing up, especially with your dad being a wrestler? Were you big fans of certain wrestlers, or was your dad your big idol?
Oh, well, no way. Yeah, my dad was always my number one idol, but there was a lot of other guys. So it was there was this one guy, this luchador called Abismo Negro. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
I have, yes.
Yeah, he was really good. He unfortunately passed away, but he was really good. Him and just really random, my favorite wrestler of all time is Edge. I love Edge, so that was another one of my idols. And of course, Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero and all those guys that kind of represent my culture. That's some two other guys that I respect a lot.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you must have been excited to see Edge return, obviously.
Oh yeah, man! I was there for it too. I was there at the arena because it was actually here in Houston. So
that's awesome.
Be there live. So it was oh wow, it's a pretty cool moment that I grew up idolizing him, and I was there for his comeback.
Right. I mean, so you right when his music hit, you popped probably for sure, right?
Yeah. There's been rumors a little bit about him coming back and whatnot, but you never knew. So as soon as I heard his theme song hit, I just I was like, what? I remember I was in the little bar area, and I turned around to the camera and I was like, what? The Edge is here, and that kind of just hyped me up.
No, I get that, man, for sure. I think a lot of people were the exact same way because you never knew that he was actually going to come back. You've heard it for years that Edge was going to end up being back, or, rumors were going around. And then when that music hit, I think a lot of people were just like, holy crap, I can't believe this happened.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy because, he had a life-threatening injury. So it was cool that he had to get over that, come back and do what he's doing now,
Oh, for sure. And just to see him, you see a lot of legends come back to wrestling and you see him do one-offs. Edge has been there and he's been killing it. And it's awesome to see. He hasn't lost a step. Edge is still Edge doing his thing. And I mean, man, that's a cool idol to have, is somebody like Edge. I mean, he's done his thing for so long, man. So that's awesome. Now, reality of wrestling. Let's talk about reality of wrestling. Is that where you got your start 100%? Or was that just your big breakout moment in a sense?
Well, I 14, I started training down here in Houston, but I actually started training at a Lucha Libre company. So I first started doing Lucha Libre, full-on Lucha Libre. I had a mask, I had the whole get up and thing. And when I turned 16, that's when I finally went to reality wrestling and kind of started doing my thing there. And I guess that was kind of a breakthrough moment because that's when I started taking the mask off and becoming what I am now, becoming Gino.
Oh, absolutely. And, you had the privilege and honor to work with somebody like Booker T, who's been an icon in professional wrestling history. Tell us what it was like to work with Booker.
It was great because, what you guys get on TV, so that's what he is all the time.
Yeah.
So he's just hyped up and here making jokes and just being over the top all the time. He's literally Booker T, so it was pretty cool. meeting him and getting to see that. But he also took a liking to me really early on. I guess he kind of just saw like something in me. He kind of saw that I was like working hard and whatnot. So he was kind of like, he just took a liking to me. So he helped me out a lot in my early career. Him and like Bruce Pritchard and Booker T are like a big, like two people that I think a lot that like helped me out, kind of finding Gino, finding who I am now. So both of those guys are very, very instrumental to like my career.
Oh, for sure. I remember watching the clip you had with Booker T in the ring where you punched him in the face, and I was like, "Yo, damn, man, this is gonna be hot." You see Booker T versus Gino, that's gonna be awesome, man.
I don't think he can hang though.
Not anymore, I don't think, for sure. I mean, what was that like to be in the ring at that moment and have the opportunity to do a heel version against Booker T? To do something like that. I mean, not a lot of people have that opportunity anymore. So what was that like to you?
It was great because my first live event that I went to here in Houston, it was actually Ray versus Booker T, in the main event. They're wrestling for the heavyweight title. So it was like pretty cool to like, be in the ring with him and like thinking about that first live event that I went to and like seeing Booker T on stage, doing what he does, and then couple of years later being in the ring with him and like doing our thing. It was just pretty cool to like have that moment with him in there.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Hopefully one day I can punch him again and maybe I'll get him mad enough to have a match with me.
You just got to hit him with the clothesline, bro, and that's what starts it. No, I mean, it's funny because Booker T was actually the first professional wrestling match that I actually watched.
Really?
It was him versus Christian for the IC title at Bad Blood 2003. And first match that I ever watched, I got into it. I got hooked. He's an icon too, man, for sure. And reality of wrestling, I don't think a lot of people understand what a big promotion reality of wrestling truly is.
Yeah, man. We got
you get a lot of breakout stars there for sure.
Yes, sir.
And so you've been reality of wrestling champion a couple times here. What was it like to win that championship?
It was great just because, like I said earlier, like since the beginning, Booker like kind of just took a liking on me and kind of like I said, just saw something. So I became champion for him at like 19. So it was like kind of like 19 or 20ish, I believe. I'm not too sure. So it was pretty cool to like be that young and like kind of be the face of the company. Having Booker T believe in you that you can take his company like where he wants it to be. So it was pretty cool, like having that confident boost and being like, okay, can't be that bad if Booker is giving me championships and all these opportunities. So it was pretty cool being there. And one of the times that I won the championship, I actually had Rey Mysterio come to the ring and give me the championship. So to me, that was just like crazy because, like I said earlier, from that first live event and seeing Booker and him do their thing, and then a couple of years later, I'm doing stuff with Booker, I'm doing stuff with Rey Mysterio, and doing this and doing that. It was just pretty cool, just being in the ring and be able to see that and feel those little moments that you have with Booker or Rey Mysterio and whatnot. So it was pretty nice, like having Booker trusting me and giving me the opportunity as a 19-year-old kid, being the face company. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And like I said, I mean, I when I first seen you in reality of wrestling, I'm like, all right, this dude, he has the whole potential to be one of the biggest breakout stars ever. I mean, I didn't know how young you were when that happened. So, I mean, that's awesome. But yeah, man, I mean, you had a lot going for you, especially then. Because when your vignette for Major League Wrestling hit, a lot of people were talking about it. A lot of people were like, yo, Gino Medina, he's coming to MLW. This is going to be sweet. I mean, you were one of the most talked about guys. I mean, so that especially at your age, because you're what, mid-20s?
Yeah, I'm 25, man.
25. I mean, especially at your age, brother. I mean, it's crazy. You must feel really honored to be at that level right now at your age, just for everybody to be talking about Gino Medina.
Yeah, just mostly because like I take a lot of pride of like all the work that I put in, and like since I was like 14 and like nothing could stop me. I was just working, like going to the gym, going to training, going to the gym, going to train, catching buses just to go to the gym or to go to training. Like I would get out of school, take a bus downtown and take another bus just to go to training. Sometimes I didn't care. I didn't use any excuses when I just wanted to train all the time. So seeing it kind of like being paid back now, it's pretty cool. Like, because I'm kind of showing people that like if you work hard enough, you can do anything you want basically. And you have a lot of examples of that. One of my friends, Sammy Navarro, he's one of the hardest workers that I've like seen. That kind of match up to that where I'm at, and like it's pretty cool to see him where he's at right now, and like to see him where everybody else can go up there too. Just like putting some work. That's what I tell people. If you put in the work, you will get paid back.
Oh, especially. And if you start off young, man, your career is going to be all the way up, man. Sky's the limit for sure. So let me ask you this. How does it compare to the difference in atmosphere between MLW and ROW? Like, does the locker rooms feel different? Do they feel the same? I mean, you got different talent, obviously, in both locker rooms.
Yeah.
Major League Wrestling being one of the bigger companies worldwide. How does that feel to work in an establishment like that compared to reality wrestling?
I mean, there's a lot of difference just because reality wrestling is a lot of like upcoming talent. A lot of upcoming talent kind of just barely kind of a couple matches in, and you have MLW where you have like people like low key. My first show there, you had Austin Aries there. This past couple of shows, we had a bunch of other new guys that like been around for a long time. So I guess that would be the only difference, because like, talent wise, I feel like our guys are reality wrestling can keep up with my other guys over here at MLW. But these guys are a little bit greener, than compared to these guys. But they're just as talented and whatnot. But like, what I do like about MLW is that like, I know there's people that are better than me there, if that makes sense. As in like, I can like learn off them and kind of do this and do that. Well, in reality wrestling, I was kind of being the guy that kind of was like helping people out, helping people put their matches together, helping people with ideas and stuff like that, helping out the girls whenever I could. And then going to an MLW and not having that responsibility, I get to kind of like focus on myself a little more and kind of like compete with all these other guys that are there. Like the Jordan Olivers, the Myron Reeds, Richard Holiday, Alexander Hammerstone, and all those guys are great. But what happens when you're around all those great people? You become great as well.
Oh, so, for sure.
So that's what I like. That's what I like. Kind of going up, the little ladder of a professional wrestler. Because the higher you go, the more competition there will be, and the better you get. That's really how it is. And I feel like everywhere that I've been to, I've climbed up the ladder, and eventually I've been one of the best guys in that promotion. So I feel like MLW won't be any different.
Oh no, for sure, man. And I just had Davey Richards on my show not too long ago, about a week ago, and we were talking about that, and I was telling him how MLW, I mean, right now, I think is one of the, if not the top promotion in pro wrestling. You got such a variety of talent. You have so much going on there. And you guys are focused on your product. You're not focused on what AEW is doing or WWE is doing. You guys are focused on, hey, how can MLW be better? And you guys got guys like that, like Davey Richards, TJP, talent that have been around. And then you guys got younger talent like you, Richard Holiday, stuff like that. I mean, so you guys have a range of wrestlers there, and you guys bounce off each other very well. So that must be really cool to work with guys like TJP and Davey Richards. Did you get a chance to meet Davey Richards yet?
Yeah, I haven't really haven't met him because we were at the show together last month or this month, I guess. And but we didn't really get to like talk much because he was busy. I was busy with my thing and whatnot. Yeah. So I don't like to disturb people and whatnot. So I'm just doing my own thing. But yeah, I haven't met him, but I did. Somebody that was pretty like excited to work with a couple of months ago at MLW was Rocky Romero. Got to wrestle Rocky Romero in a singles match, so it was pretty cool, like doing that and learning off him and whatnot, and just getting in there and like throwing my kicks at him and have him like kind of like knock out basically. So it was pretty cool getting to hang out with Rocky Romero and whatnot. But hopefully David Richards we're in the same company, you know, so maybe we will meet in the ring one of these days. So that would be pretty cool.
I think that'd be a sick match.
I do wrestle his tag team partner. I wrestled Eddie Edwards a couple years ago, so it'd be pretty cool saying that I worked both of them, you know.
Oh hell yeah, man, for sure. You did recently at Battle Riot fight Casey Navarro, another up and comer, somebody that people have been talking about. How was that, man?
It was fun. We had a lot of chemistry actually in the ring, and a lot of people thought we had wrestled before. They were like, "Oh, you guys wrestled before, right?" I'm like, "No, this is our first time ever wrestling." But like I said earlier, like there's so much hungry talent at MLW. Like I said, like the Jordan Olivers, Myron Reeds, and now you got Casey Navarro, which I believe he just signed today to MLW. So you have all these crazy and like hungry talent that like it's pretty cool getting in the ring with them, because all we're gonna do is just give you, you know, a good match. You know, you're both striving to be the best. So if people are just constantly trying to be the best, like people are just it's like the old saying says, you know, iron sharpens iron, man. So like you got all these people that are that good, you know, everybody just becomes better. So it's pretty cool having Casey there now because he's super talented, man. I've seen him wrestle, I've seen him talk. This guy, you know, he carries himself like a star, so it's pretty cool having him in the roster. It's pretty cool having him in the match for me, because you know I'm basically the one to welcome to MLW.
No, absolutely, man. And dude, I wish I would have been able to watch it, because obviously I'm a little broke at the moment, you know, but I wish I would have been able to order a pay-per-view, because there was a lot of good cards matches.
Well, I think it's gonna be out. It's gonna be out soon though. I don't think that was on pay-per-view.
Oh, really? Okay, I'll have to try to find it. But you have been in the ring with a lot of talent, up and comers, older names. I've seen matches against you versus Rhino. I've seen matches against you versus Keith Lee. You've been in the ring with guys who are up and coming, like Will Allday, Brian Keith, Chris Bay. Tell us about some of your favorite matches that you've had so far.
Yeah, man. I actually have some of my favorite matches this year, and which is weird because like just going off the pandemic to like this year where it's been like crazy. As in like I wrestled like, I don't know if you're familiar with a lot of the Lucha legends, but like somebody like Ricky Marvin. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
I have, yes.
Psycho Clown. You know, you got those guys. You got Mecha Wolf. Who else? I'm trying to think of all the guys that I wrestled down here at local wrestling, because it's just been a while. I wrestled Effie. You know, I'm about to wrestle Ricardo Rodriguez. I wrestled El Santo just last week for my third time this year, and it's just like crazy how many superstars that I've gotten to get in the ring with, and just kind of learn off them, right? But I think one of my favorite ones will be against Psycho Clown. Psycho Clown's match is pretty fun. It was just fun being in there and kind of like doing our thing and whatnot. Him, and I always love wrestling Brian Keith. Wrestling Brian Keith all the time is super fun. Him, Mysterious Q, Will Allday, those three guys, I've loved getting in the ring with them all the time, because like I said earlier, we're all a group of hungry guys. So like we're just trying to get out of Texas, you know, that's all we're all trying to do, like make a name for ourselves so we can go out there, go out to the world and kind of show that what Texas is doing down here. So like those three guys, you know, well, the first one would be Psycho Clown. But anytime I wrestle, you know, Brian Keith, Will Allday, and Mysterious Q, it's gonna be a fun match. But I would say the match with Psycho Clown and then the one with Mysterious Q, one of my favorite ones this year, just because before the match with Mysterious Q, the day before, I was wrestling in Florida. I don't know if you heard of this. I was wrestling in Florida and I like passed out.
Oh, I didn't hear about that. No, how'd that happen?
So basically, I think what it was, I took my vaccine 2 days before that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I took my vaccine 2 days before that. I was running on no sleep. I woke up, I barely ate anything, and I just went out and wrestled. And I guess like, my body was just like, no, we're gonna shut down. And I just like shut down in the match. Like literally, I knocked out, and I woke up and I was in the locker room, and I was like, what happened? I was just like totally lost. But the cool thing was that like the day after I wrestled Mysterious Q, and we had a really good match. So like I just thought it was pretty cool that like the day before doing that, and then the day after having like a banger match. It was pretty cool that I was able to do that with Mysterious Q, especially in Florida, wrestling the weekend.
Who were you wrestling when that happened?
I was wrestling this guy. His name's Kamis Lupus.
Okay.
Him and Dragon Bait, they're like brothers or whatnot. They're both pretty good and they're both pretty talented. But it was actually kind of messed up because a lot of people were like blaming it on him and whatnot. They were like, "Oh, he should stop, trying to wrestle him and whatnot," like because he tried to pick me up at some point, but he didn't know what was going on. So a lot of people were trying to throw like blame on him and whatnot, and which kind of like bothered me because it's not his fault. It was me.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that must be hard, man. I mean, knowing that happened, I mean, that probably was like psychologically like, oh man, that sucked. I mean, people are going to be talking crap about this now. Social media, I mean, dude, they just,
the worst.
it's the worst for sure. Last year, you were in the ring with Crime Time. I know that. What was that like to be in one of Shad's last matches before his accident or what happened to him?
I believe I was like his second last match, I believe. Which it was pretty cool because I met Shad when I was like super young. I was probably like maybe like 16 or 17ish around that age, and it's pretty cool because the last time that I seen him, I actually fell off the ring. Like I was in the apron and I went to do this one move, but I completely fell off the ring. And like it's funny because Shad was there, and it was pretty cool to see him like a couple of years later and get into wrestling now and kind of being like, "Oh, you're that kid that fell off the ring, right?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's me." But it's cool for like have that happen and kind of like years later being in the ring with him, being able to compete with him and whatnot, and like getting to like just do my thing with him and kind of like seeing where I progressed and whatnot. I don't mind talking about all these little things about like, oh, I fell off the ring or I did this or I passed out and whatnot, just because I feel like we all kind of need that, just because I feel like if I progress from all that, I just learned off it, I'm pretty sure I've never fallen off the ring after that. So like, it's just cool to see where I've come and whatnot, and it's just a big journey. Yeah.
It's a growing process for sure. I mean, those little things is what makes you who you are today, I mean, that was such a heartbreaking thing what happened with Shad. We never got to see him and Crime Time come back to TV and stuff like that, with rumors floating around that was what was going to happen. Such a tragic accident, and he will be always missed for sure. Being into the ring with him must have been one of the coolest moments. Just because
Booker was always really cool with both of them. So it was like they would come around the gym sometimes and like kind of just, especially Shad. Shad was pretty cool book. So he would come around and whatnot, like kind of just hang out at the gym and stuff. So it was pretty sad for like the whole like community down in reality wrestling to see that happen to him.
Oh no, for sure. Now your match with Mysterious Q that you were just talking about not too long ago, was that after you won the Texas Grand Prix tournament?
Yes, that was after we wrestled in Texas for the Grand Prix tournament, and then we wrestled in Florida for the New Texas Championship. So
yeah, because I know you were in the finals against Jackson Stone,
yeah.
Which he's an amazing person.
Yes, he is.
Right now, I mean, I met him a couple months back off of a tweet that I posted towards Darius Lockhart. And I messaged him and we were talking, and he's actually a lot of the reason where I am mentally right now. He's helped me out so much. Jackson is one of the most amazing people.
Yes,
I mean, that was a very fun match though between you and Jackson. I watched that and I was like, yo, dude, two up and comers, two kick-ass athletes. Such a great match to see. And then you did go against Mysterious Q and another hell of a match that I watched for the title. Ended up coming a little short, but I mean, both of you guys are killing it. Now I want to ask you this. What's it like for you to be one of the first breakout stars from reality of wrestling and now seeing everybody else kind of starting to follow suit?
It's pretty cool just because like I feel like kind of like maybe it led the way in a way, kind of like showing them like, hey, you work this hard, that you can actually do this. Actually Brian Key was one of the guys that actually told me that. He's like, I kind of saw you doing your thing. So I was like, oh, if he can do it, I can do it as well. And that's basically what I try to show people. Like, I kind of how I told you, maybe work hard enough, like you can do whatever you want, you know. You literally
for
can
sure.
do any promotion that you want to go to. You know, you don't have to ask for it. You don't have to like go out to Twitter and like ask for it or like, hey, can you guys put me out here? If you work hard enough, they will come around. You know, that's something Booker told me really early on. Like, hey, if you're that good, people will come around. They will come around asking for you. You don't have to ask for anything. If you work hard enough, stuff will come to you, you know? And that's all I've ever done in my career, just work hard and kind of just let stuff happen. You know, I don't stress about stuff. I don't stress about like, hey, I want to go here. I want to wrestle this guy or whatever. I do, you know, I do wish for that, but I know I have to work for it. You know, a lot of people just wish for it and they don't want to work for it. So like, I feel like I was one of the first guys to kind of show everybody like, hey, we can all do it. You know, we can all eat here.
Oh, for sure.
And like we're all doing it now. You know, like I said, I'm pretty happy for it. You know, Brian Keats, Mysterious Q, Mr. Will All Day too. Will All Day is like great as well, man. That's another guy that you're gonna be seeing a lot more of in the upcoming years. You know, he's super talented. I was there for his first drop kick. I was there for his first like couple of rolls, so it was like pretty cool seeing where he is now. You know, you got him. You got a girl like I'm trying to remember her WWE name, but AQA, are you Seda?
Yeah.
She's great, man. She came out of reality wrestling, so it's pretty cool seeing her, seeing where she is now, and kind of like I said earlier, Will All Day. I was there for her first couple of roles and whatnot, so it's pretty cool seeing where she is now. You know, her or somebody like Kylie Ray. Kylie Ray came out of reality wrestling too, so you know, seeing all these women, you know, and seeing all these guys like get their opportunities now is like pretty great, man.
Oh no, absolutely. And like I said, I mean, it's such a cool thing, man, because I remember watching you break out and I was like, yo, dude, so much talent in reality of wrestling, so much talent. And now, you know, you see guys on AEW Dark, you see people going to NXT, you see people jumping everywhere, names going to MLW, stuff like that. And, you know, to notice that you were the first one to do it, it just has to be that greatest feeling, man. Like, you know, you're doing something right. But yeah, I mean, so much talent, and now you got a new crop of talent coming into reality of wrestling, doing their thing. And the Renegades of Wrestling, they're one of the more newer names to that organization, and they're killing it.
You have a lot of hungry talent down there at wrestling, you know, and like just by the girls alone just like are super talented at reality wrestling. I feel like anytime the girls are in there, I feel like people are watching, you know, because you know they're gonna, you know, like you got somebody like Hayan. I don't know if you're familiar with Hayan, right?
Yeah, I was about to mention her. Yep.
Yeah, she's definitely like one of the top like talented women out there. You know, not even just women. She's better than a lot of the guys.
Oh yeah, dude, she's one of the best.
Yeah, her and you know, like Roxy, you got Rachel Rose. You know, you got all these girls. You got Promise Braxton. She's pretty good as well. So
she was just on AEW Dark, I believe, this past week.
Yeah, her and like I said, just the movement themselves, they're super talented down reality wrestling. You got somebody like Sherry King. She's one of like the newer ones right now, but she's super hungry and super like hungry to just learn and stuff. She's constantly messaging me, asking me questions, asking me for advice and whatnot. So it's pretty cool seeing somebody like that being so hungry and wanting to learn. And it's just cool, man, because we have, like I said, we have so much hungry talent in reality wrestling. We got just those are the women that we have, like all these guys that we don't know about yet. Like, you know, like the Sacks, Warren, Clay. Are you familiar with Clay Roberts?
Yes, I am. Yes.
And he's pretty good as well. And you got, like I said, you got a group of guys that are just super hungry down reality wrestling. It's pretty cool to like think about where they can be in a couple of years.
Oh yeah, no, and Cameron Cole is another one. You know, kills it. Fly Death is one of those teams that have been getting so much attraction all over now too. It's so cool to see Zach and Warren do the thing. You know, shout out to Fly Death. But no, man, so much talent, so much, you know, opportunity for you guys. And I think reality of wrestling needs more eyes on them as a promotion. Definitely. Do you have, I know we just talked about it, you kind of just mentioned it, that you have goals of wrestling certain people and stuff, but you just kind of let it take you to where it takes you. Do you have any specific dream matches that you do want one day?
I do have one dream match, but I feel like it's not gonna happen. I feel like I'm gonna retire before that. But I do want to wrestle Edge, man. I feel like if I wrestle Edge, I'll be like, okay, I'm good.
Oh, for sure, man.
I literally had a dream where I wrestled Edge. I wrestled me. I was just like, I just dreamt about it. I woke up and I was like, oh, this is weird.
Have you ever got a chance to meet him?
No, never.
Oh man, we got to make that happen. I mean, that's a dream come true for sure.
Yeah, he's so talented. I feel like I just had so many questions for him. But he would be one of the ones. Prior to Rey Mysterio, I would love to wrestle Rey Mysterio. Him and I'll give you three. It'll be Edge, Mysterio, and Pete Dunne. Because I think Pete Dunne's like super talented, man. He's like one of the top guys that I think is like that can go at that level, you know. So those three right there are like my top ones that I got on my list.
Oh, I think a badass match would be between you and Pete Dunne for sure.
Definitely, man.
You know, I could picture that in my head right now.
He's around my age too, so like, you know, I'm pretty sure it'll happen eventually, you know.
Oh man, I would love to see you in the ring against Tyler Bate too. That'd be a fun match.
Oh, that'd be really good as well. Those guys over in the UK, man. Like I kind of idolize those UK guys because they're pretty good, man. They're just like, I feel like we kind of come from like the same thing. It's like they're kind of like Mexican versions of I mean, versions of Mexicans, because we're just kind of like, we kind of just start off young, training, and kind of do our thing, and eventually start blowing up a little bit. But yeah, they kind of respect wrestling the same way in England that we respect it in Mexico. So like, it's pretty cool seeing a lot of those young guys kind of come up and like knowing how young they are and like how good they are, you know.
For sure.
We have a bunch of those, like kind of like Rey Mysterio started when he was like 12.
Yeah.
You know, so like it's funny, like just seeing how young we start them, you know, and then compared to like England, they start them off really, really young too. And like I've always been super big fan of that scene over there. I was watching Pete Dunne and like Tony Storm like years before they went to WWE. I thought they were both super talented, so it was like pretty cool to see where they're at now.
Oh yeah, no, I remember I used to watch like ICW and stuff like that. So you'd see talent like that, and Pete Dunne was there. You've seen Mustache Mountain there, you know, guys like Trent Seven, Tyler Bate, Tony Storm was killing it. Now we get to see Bea Priestley do her thing on NXT. I think a lot of people are upset about her name change, but you know, it just comes with the contract, I guess. But so much talent from the UK, and you're right, man. I mean, there's a lot of guys from like the Mexican community and a lot of guys from the UK that start young now, and you know, they progress, and by early 20s they're one of the most talked about names. It was very uncommon years ago for that to happen. Rey Mysterio, like you mentioned, was one of them. TJP was another who started very young. You know, it was very rare to find a talent that started at such a young age, and now it's like you guys are just starting earlier and earlier and becoming a bigger name at an early age, and you guys have years to go. So I mean, it's awesome, man. I mean, such a cool thing to see how much talent there is at such a young age now than there was years ago. Let's kind of talk about MLW really quick. Are you signed currently by MLW?
Yes, sir. I'm signed to MLW.
Okay. I didn't know if you were still signed. I know you were signed by them. I didn't know if after the revamp and everything like that with all the new signees and stuff, if you actually still had the contract with them. When you started with MLW, you were aligned with the Dynasty. We did see that. And you kind of broke out in your own not too long ago and left the Dynasty, where we've seen you have a match against Richard Holiday for the Caribbean Championship. One of the things that I love seeing, because Richard Holiday, he heel turned on one of my tweets, is when I seen you punch him in the face, and I was like, "Yo, dude, Gino's got my reaction, man. I love this." What was it like to be in the ring with Richard Holiday, another up and coming name that a lot of people have been talking about too?
It's pretty fun, like just because like I would never have worked Richard Holiday if I wasn't in MLW, you know, because I'm in Texas and he's up in like New York, New Jersey area. So it's pretty cool that MLW brought us together and kind of like have us work this little thing that we going on right now. And like he's great, man. He's pretty fun. Like he's one of those guys that you look at and you're like, okay, this guy is made for TV.
Yeah.
Like you look at him like he's made for TV. He's such the way he just carries himself and that is like pretty cool to see, you know, just because you don't see that often in wrestling nowadays, you know, which is it's not a bad thing. But it's pretty cool seeing like people like that still that carry themselves like that. But yeah, man, Richard's great. He reminds me of like a Randy Orton a little bit, like just by his mannerisms and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. The first time I seen him, man, he's got this look about him, just the look in general, like, you know, he's going places.
Yeah.
And then the talent just adds to it. I mean, his in-ring skills are just on a different level.
He also has a look. He has a look in his face. You don't slap him.
Which you did. You did that, you know? What was it like to be a part of the Dynasty with somebody like Hammerstone, who everybody is rooting for to get that world title shot that he finally has the opportunity for? What was it like to be a part of that Dynasty?
It was a lot of fun because, you know, they kind of showed me the ropes around MLW when I first got there. You know, those two, you know, Hammerstone, Richard Holiday, and at the time it was MJF as well. Those three guys are like some of the top talent right now in wrestling, you know. So it was pretty cool learning off them a little bit and whatnot, and kind of get to pick their brain when I was going to MLW. It's kind of like learning what was going on, kind of learning to seeing how everything worked. So it was pretty cool learning off them and whatnot. But eventually they got boring, man.
Yeah, no, I get it.
They just wanted to talk about tanning and coffee and stuff. And I was like, no, none of that for me.
Gino's like, I want to wrestle. That's it. That's it.
No, I wanted to wrestle and I wanted the mamacitas. There was no mamacitas. And there
just
was no
tanning.
Yeah,
just tanning in the boys.
Yeah, tanning with the boys drinking coffee. This sounds pretty weird, right?
I love it though. It's funny. Now that is the Richard Holiday and Gino Medina feud over? Are you guys gonna kind of continue to do it and see where it goes?
Oh man, I usually get the last laugh, so I don't know, man. He did beat me this last time. You know, he cheated, but he did beat me. I'll give him that. But he did cheat. So eventually, I'm gonna get that rematch. And I'm gonna show him that I'm a little better at cheating than him.
Oh man, yeah, no, I love it, man. I want to see more of that feud. I think it's gonna be great. You know, just the chemistry is there for sure. Now let me ask you this: I've seen you play the face. I've seen you play the heel. Which one do you like better?
I like working as a heel better, just because I'm very for my age, I'm 25. I've been wrestling for 10 years. So I know where I want to go in the match.
Yeah.
And I'm very controlling in the match, you know? So I feel like I learned so much in these 10 past years that I kind of know where we got to go in the match. So I feel like as a heel, you get to do that a little bit more. You get to kind of like lead the way a little bit more. So I love being a heel. Plus, I don't mind getting booed. You know, everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be loved, but not me. I don't really care. You know?
No, for sure, man. I mean, you play the heel very well, so. Thank
you, man. Thank you. But I do love working both, though. I take pride in saying that anytime that I go out there, I can get a reaction. You can either love me or you can love to hate me, man.
Oh man, no, you do very well at it. I remember watching one of your first entrances as a heel, and I'm like, yeah, dude, this dude has this cocky confidence look to him. And I'm like, just something about this guy is going to be huge one day. And everybody is going to know the name Gino Medina. Now, one thing I did notice that I didn't know until today, actually, a wrestler you wrestled, his name was Barry Wright. I don't know if you remember that. It was in Chicago in a tag team match. Do you remember him?
What was his name again?
Barry Wright.
Maybe. Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So it's cool because I don't know a lot of people that have been in the ring with him, but he actually, back in the day, we had a backyard wrestling promotion, me and my friends, and he was actually a part of that group. He kind of trained us, and I remember watching him, and I'm like, dude, he wrestled on SmackDown. He wrestled in a jobber match, which was cool to see. We've seen him against Ryback. But yeah, I don't see a lot of people that I've had an interaction with, get a chance to be in the ring with him. So I was just asking you about that because I noticed it and I thought it was pretty cool.
Oh no, you know what? I do remember. What was it? A tag team match or was it like?
It was a tag match. Yeah.
Yeah. I do remember that.
Yeah.
I've been to Chicago a few times, so like it's been a little like blurry and whatnot. But yeah, I do remember it, man. And there's been so many matches, but I do remember that one.
He's a cool dude, man, for sure. And I think more eyes need to be on somebody like him too. We'll get there one day for sure. Thing I've been asking people on my show recently, kind of a new thing. I know a lot of people collect something or have a cool hobby. Do you have anything that you collect, or do you do anything for fun, like as hobbies or anything like that? Or do you just kind of work out, train and stuff like that?
I collect pop figures, man. I love me some pop figures. You know, I have a whole like wall of it. You know, upstairs there's a whole like wall of like pop figures. I love me some Dragon Ball Z pop figures. I love Dragon Ball Z. I have a bunch of like Spider-Mans because I love Spider-Man as well. I'm a big nerd, bro. I have this whole like personality, but I'm actually a big nerd too. So I love like a lot of the MCU stuff that's going on right now with with Loki. WandaVision and all this stuff is like great to me because it gets me like hooked, Not a lot of stuff gets me hooked nowadays, just wrestling. But when I do find something that does, and just like stuck with it. But yeah, man, I do collect a lot of the pop stuff, pop figures and whatnot, which a lot of fans bring me some at shows.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool that it's like known now that people can bring me pops. So you let them know to bring some pops.
Oh, we'll throw it on there, man. When we post this video up, we'll tell fans to bring you pops. We got you. Who's your favorite Dragon Ball Z character?
I'm stuck between you know what? I'll go with Vegeta.
Vegeta?
Yeah. I was gonna say Goku or Vegeta, but I'm like, oh, Vegeta.
I was Gohan or Piccolo. I don't know what it was. It's one of those two were always my favorite. Super Saiyan Gohan, dude, just killed it. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. When you fought Cell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Dude, and you know who's very underrated? Who's very underrated is Gotenks. Gotenks. Yeah, he needed some more airtime, bro. They didn't let him shine.
Well, hopefully we see more Dragon Ball Z come back and stuff like that, and we get stuff like that. Who's your favorite Marvel character?
Spider-Man for sure. Yeah.
Spider-Man.
I don't know if he really counts as like Marvel characters because of the whole Sony thing, but to not make it complicated, I'll go with Spider-Man.
So let me ask you this: out of the three actors who've played Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, who's your favorite?
I actually like Tom Holland a lot, just because like I feel like he really like embraces what like Spider-Man is supposed to be,
Oh, for sure.
But I did grow up with Tobey when I was a kid, so it's like pretty kind of hard to like have to pick between both of them. But it's pretty cool because in this new movie, I heard they're all gonna come back.
I've heard that too, so we'll see.
So you be keeping an eye on Loki and all the stuff that's going on. There's a huge possibility that it might be true. So I'm very hyped to see maybe Tom Holland with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield was in there. So I'm excited for that one.
Oh, it should be really fun, man. Any big plans for the rest of 2021 for Gino Medina?
No, I'm gonna just keep killing it at MLW. I got a couple of days still with them this year, so it's gonna be fun going over there. And like I said, this past time I just wrestled Casey Navarro, which is super talented, and like it's pretty cool to just them giving me somebody like that for it to work. Because like I said, I can only get better working these guys. So I don't know, maybe they'll give me Hammerstone sometime, maybe they'll give me Jordan Oliver, David Richards. So I'm looking forward to like going over there and kind of wrestling these guys that are at another level and kind of being able to keep up with them and whatnot. So it's pretty cool going up there and like doing that. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And I also look forward to like, I don't know if you've heard of local wrestling before. Local wrestling down here in Houston, we have this huge thing going on right now where like we bring a bunch of talent down here and we kind of have huge events. So I'm very excited to do those and being able to wrestle a lot of the people that I do bring in for me to wrestle, because it's always a lot of fun. It's the environment there, the environment at that local wrestling arena. It's great. There's something that like you can't like, I don't know, you can't find anywhere else. GCW just came down here a couple of weeks ago just to wrestle there,
Oh, for sure.
big the environment is there. But in a couple of weeks, I am wrestling Scorpio Sky. So
that should be awesome.
Sky. I'm not wrestling Scorpio Sky. I'm wrestling Tuco Scorpio. That's fun wrestling.
That should be fun too, man. Either way, Scorpio something, you know.
I was like, Scorpio.
I love it, man. You want to tell the fans where they can find you at on social media?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Instagram or Twitter under TLHT. And if you forget, it stands for The Land Heartthrob. So you can find me on there. And anywhere else you can find me on Cash App. You want to Cash App me?
Do it. Gino needs more pops, guys. Come on. Oh, man.
That's where you can find me on social media. You can find all my merch there, my upcoming dates and whatnot. I'll be all over Texas, all over the country soon. You can find me with MLW too, MLW.com.
Absolutely, man. I can't wait for the future for you, Gino. Sky's the limit for you, brother. I know you're going to succeed wherever you go. Just keep killing it, man. Keep doing your best. And the fans are going to love you regardless. You kill it every day, man. So
thank you, man. Hopefully I'll see you down at the show soon too.
Oh, for sure, man. I mean, if you guys come out to Chicago, I just told Jackson earlier, I think next year I'm going to actually train to get back into pro wrestling. So we'll see. We'll see how that happens. I told Jackson I might come out to Texas next year. So
I go up there a lot though too. I go to Chicago a lot. For Galley, you know Galley?
I don't know.
Okay, there's a promotion Galley up there. So maybe I'll invite you to the show over there.
Yeah, man, for sure. I would love to do this again live. That'd be fun. And just get a chance to chat, see you do your thing live, man.
And hopefully by then you're training already. Maybe we can have a match.
Oh, hell yeah, man, for sure. I got to get in better weight first. Yeah, we'll get there. But thank you, Gino, for coming on the show, man. I really enjoyed you being on here. Having the fans get to know you a little more and stuff like that. It was an honor, man. Guys, this has been a pro wrestling podcast with Matt and friends. This is Gino Medina. Thank you guys for listening. You guys have a good night.